Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Paul Kalamir. This is Habsolutely coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, in the studios of 4680Q. And yeah, we only had 2 games this week, but we grabbed 3 out of the 4 points. You think I'd be happy with that, right? Well, I'm happy about the 3 out of 4 points. There's no doubt about that. I can't complain about that. I'm not going to complain about that. But I do have concerns. And, I know all the Habs fans are over the top. And I can't blame them. I mean, we are rolling along just like I thought we would, I predicted. But I'm not liking the way we're doing it. And I'm going to get into that later on in the show. But yeah, I just have some things that I'm thinking about here as we move through the season, and things are going to change. Let me put it that way. And I don't think we're quite ready for that change. And I'll tell you why later on in the show. For now, I've got this. If you are listening live on 4680Q and you want to message me, hey, go ahead. Give me a text message. The number is 289-994-7560. For all my buddies out there who like to listen to the show or watch it on video later on in the day, YouTube, I mean, you can still message me. If you're watching the show, you're better off to put the comments right on the video. But, I mean, if you want to message me, I'll get it here and I'll talk about it on the next show anyway. But if you're listening live on 4680q.com on the internet, then all you have to do is text 289-994-7560. I'll get the text here, and you can be sure that I'm going to talk about whatever you talk about. That's the way it goes here. So, my laugh of the week. I always have a laugh of the week here, right? I find something comical to say. And this was a really good one. Actually, I was laughing my head off because I just can't imagine this happening, but this would be something if it did. And what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about Habs looking at a 7'1", 273-pound player. And they're considering taking a chance on a gentleman named Alexander Karmanov from Moldavia. Now, can you imagine this? This guy was selected by the Brantford Bulldogs in the 2025 CHL draft. He's a defenseman eligible for the 2026 draft. He's considered a good prospect with fluid skating ability despite his massive size. Now, 7'1", 275 pounds. How good would he look on our defense? I'm laughing even thinking about it. And Habs are looking at this guy. He'd be a serious threat to other teams if the Habs picked him up. And you have to stay tuned to this one. I'm going to be watching this guy, Brantford Bulldogs. That's where he plays, 7'1". Habs are looking at him. This would be something to have. 7'1", 275 pounds at what, 18 years old? 17, 18 years old. Woo! That would add another dimension to our defense. I don't know who would fight this guy. This guy's destruction. If he has a mean streak, he's destruction on skates. Anyway, there you go. What do you think of that one, you guys? Vinny, Gary, Christian, everybody out there that messages me and sends me comments. What do you think of that one? To me, that is a major one. I'm laughing if we get this guy. I'm going, wow, this is something else. This is something fantastic. Okay, so let's get to viewer comments after my laugh of the week. That made me chuckle, that one, just thinking about it. I was sitting there going, oh my goodness. I mean, we're not talented enough. This would take it to another level. And we're going to be talking about all the talent that we have and where the problems lie. Okay, at Mr. T Valley guy. I thought I was the only Habs fan in Niagara Falls. And I'm laughing, going, Mr. T Valley guy, first time commenter, and I love it. Thank you very much for the comment. We love our commenters, we love our viewers, we love everybody out there except Leafs. I thought I was the only Habs fan. No, you're not. There's a lot of us out here. Keep on tuning in. Keep watching the video. Keep commenting. There's tons of us in Niagara Falls. Oh man, I could name a dozen just sitting here right now. And you wouldn't believe there's a lot of Habs fans here. You don't even know it. I mean, this show started because the owner of the radio station, Rick Rose, he's passed away now. He passed away a year ago. I do my regular show, Your City, Your Voice, Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. And he said, why don't you do a Habs show? And I go, yeah, I'd love to. I wouldn't mind doing that at all. Well, Rick was a big Habs fan. I never knew that. Huge Habs fan. We have a couple of our city council members, Mayor Jim Diodati, and I believe Mike Strange. Huge Habs fans. Huge Habs fans. So we do have Habs fans around. There's lots of them. I would say probably in the thousands in Niagara Falls. Yeah, so there. Thanks for the comment, Mr. T Valley guy. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. At Christian Pilon 747, you're the best. Well, thank you so much, Christian. And we're not only the best, we have the best followers. We really, really do. We don't have a lot of them. We got to spread the word. You guys got to get out there. The ones that do follow us, share the videos, share the show. I mean, the more the merrier. This is just a big Habs party, right? All Habs, all show. We don't talk about anything else. Somebody said, what about this other NHL stuff? And I go, what? I don't follow hockey. I follow the Habs. I worry about other teams when we play them. Until then, I don't care what they're doing. It doesn't matter to me. All I care about is the Habs. So, yeah, we're the best, but our viewers are also the best. They're loyal Habs fans. They follow us. They follow the Habs. They probably watch a lot of these podcasts to get a different opinion on different things. So that's why we're here. That's why we do the show. We love it. If we were going to get rich from it, hey, we wouldn't be doing it at all. It's not about the money, ladies and gentlemen. It's about the Habs, and that's why we're here. Thank you for that comment. At Gary Cornway, 9031. Good day, fellas. Well, good day to you, Gary. Great show. I was wrong on the trivia. Great job stumping me. My 3 stars, MSL for putting Demidov on the first power play and leaving Dobish in net. Yeah. MSL screwed it up yesterday. So, he's first star maybe last week. But he did make the right decision last night. I'll tell you that right now. My 3 stars. Second, Caulfield. Yes. How can you argue about Caulfield? What's he got? 10 goals, a goal a game. This guy, he's unbelievable. He's just running. He's just running with this. He's going to have 50 goals before the end of the season. He's just that darn good. And third, Dobish. Yes, I agree with that. Dobish is unbelievable. Undefeated, 6-0, 197. And I think he's got like a 9 something. I know what it is. I got it written down here because we'll talk about that later on. But Dobish is the guy. And why they played Monty last night is beyond me. I can't figure it out. I'm going to go into the psychological reason that I think later on. But yeah, Dobish. I'm with him. There's so many players to pick from, really. I mean, he says, we haven't seen this in 30 years. And I agree, Gary. I agree 100%. There's so many players to mention. Great pick for the 3 stars. They could have been replaced with 3 other players, and nobody would argue with you. We have a lot of talent on this team, and they're producing, We see it every game. Somebody steps up, and this is a beautiful thing. But we still have one thing we need, and that's solid goaltending, which we're not getting from Monty. And I'll talk about that. Garrett Cornway, 9031. Hey there, Buckaroos. Yahoo! I was holding my breath with Monty against the Sens. Yeah, well, so was I. His teammates bailed him out, and I'm still not convinced of Monty's performance. Well, neither am I. Neither am I. Nobody should get the next start. Yeah, you should. Demidov and Hudson on the ice together creates chaos for other teams. Drew Deeks pinch hitting for John. Go Habs, go! Yeah, and Drew Deeks was in last week, pinch hitting for John. As you can see, John's not here this week, so I'm on my own here. So I can go crazy. I have nobody to keep me in line. I like it when that happens. Not all the time though. John's more of an analytical. He comes in and he really takes a look at the games. I do to a certain point, but I have my opinions, right? So John adds another element to this show, which is missed when he's not here. Drew Deeks adds another element to the show, and he's missed if he's not here. But hey, you're stuck with me. Go Habs, go. Okay, so there you go. I'm not concerned. I'm not even convinced Monty's a starter. Believe I never have been, to be honest with you. I'll have more comments about that later. Okay, so now that we've got through the comments, let's get to Habs trivia. And that was all the comments. And I love my commenters. They're more analytical than I am. They really look at the players and look at the game and give us some good insights into what the thoughts are of people out there on the streets. And we know we love the people out in the streets, the Habs fans. They always have something good to say, and they bring me different angles. I watch a lot of Habs shows, believe it or not. You think I would have my own? I wouldn't watch all the others, but I do. Hockey Junkie and Drew Deeks show, and Hockey Digest, and a whole whack of them. Shaner from Sick Podcast, Tony Marinaro, and Sean Starr and Marco D'Amico. I mean, I watch all these guys because they all bring a different element. We all have different thoughts on how the games went and what our opinions are. And, you know, some you say, well, I don't agree with that. And some you agree with. It doesn't matter, really. It's about the discussion. Somebody saying something. And, you know, like I'm sure, well, I don't know about, you know, how much Marty St. Louis watches our show or not, or if he watches any shows. He might not because he doesn't want to be criticized or whatever. But people do watch, and those opinions are out there. So it's really neat to see. And sometimes everybody, and I'm talking about myself and John and other people, are bang on with what they think should happen because all of a sudden there's that change that proves what we said was right. And there you go. There you go. Like, you know, because we do make predictions. I have. I mean, before the season started, I said Habs were going to go between 13 and 15 wins in their first 20, just looking at the schedule. But that's coming to an end. We're into what? Game 13 or 14 now? What are we? 9-3-1. So 9-3-1, that's 13 games. So we got 7 more to go before the first 20 are done. I think we're going to hit my goal of 13 to 15 wins. But after that, it gets serious. It gets real serious. Okay, Habs trivia. Let's get to that. So, you've all heard of a Habs great named Steve Shutt, right? You heard of Steve Shutt. I mean, everybody has. Come on. Well, on April 3rd, 1977, Steve Shutt, and I believe Steve Shutt was number 22. 22. Was he? Yeah. Steve Shutt was 22. But this sweater, well, I mean, it's in reverence to Steve Shutt and Cole Caulfield, but even better, it's in regard to Habsolutely, and that's what it says on the back. If you want to take a look, you can see it. Absolutely. And the reason I have this sweater at number 22 is because that's when this show started, September of 2022. I was going to say 1922. You be good out there. So, Steve Shutt made NHL history by doing what? April 3rd, 1977, Steve Shutt made NHL history by doing what? Number 1, I'll give you 4 choices. Don't worry, I'm not going to leave you hanging out there in the in the woods to get eaten by a bear. He became the first player in the NHL to wear a helmet for protection. Number 2, he declined to accept the MVP award because he felt that hockey was a team success and not an individual success. He said, "No, I'm not taking the trophy. I don't want it, the MVP award. I don't want it. It's a team sport, and I owe my team um, a big part of my success." Number 3, he signed a new contract with the Habs that included the first ever no trade clause. That's right. He signed the first ever no trade clause in the NHL. In his contract renewed, he said, "I don't want to be traded. I want to be guaranteed a spot on Montreal." And he had the first contract that had a no trade clause. Or number 4, he became the first left winger in NHL history to score 60 goals in a season. So let me go through them again. And you can text me the answer if you want to prove that you got it. Now, becoming the first player in the NHL to wear a helmet for protection. Is that what he's made history in the NHL for? Or did he make history in the NHL for declining to accept the MVP award because he felt that hockey was a team success, not an individual success? He made history by signing a new contract with the Habs that included the first ever no trade clause. Or number 4, was he the first left winger in NHL history to score 60 goals in a season? Okay, tick tock, Vinny, all the gang. What do you think? What do you think out there? Which one was it? Give you a second here to think about that one. And you're not supposed to be going to Google and trying to find the answer out. You're supposed to be bringing it up yourself, thinking about it yourself. What he was the first to do. Okay, the correct answer is number 4. He became the first left winger in NHL history to score 60 goals in a season. That's what Steve Shutt on April the 3rd, 1977 made history doing. How about that? First left winger to score 60 goals in a season. Shutt was a prolific scorer for the Habs, recording 9 seasons of his 13 with the Habs of 30 goals or more. And of those, he had 4 seasons of 45 or more, 3 seasons of 35 or more, and 2 seasons of 30 or more. So, yeah, we remember Steve Shutt. This guy was a mainstay with the Montreal Canadiens. But the weird thing about his 60-goal record-setting goals is he scored his 60th goal, the record setter, against the Washington Capitals at the end of the season. So he set the record by scoring against the Washington Capitals. And guess who is the one now? It's Alexander Ovechkin. He now has the NHL record of 65 in a season for a left winger. So that's kind of wild, huh? He scores his record-setting goal against the Washington Capitals at the end of the season. And then who goes on to beat him? Alexander Ovechkin of the Washington Capitals. Shutt won 5 Stanley Cups with the Habs, amassing 424 goals and 393 assists in 930 games in the NHL. His last season was with the LA Kings in 1984-85 when, during his NHL career, Shutt was traded to the Kings for future considerations. Those future considerations ended up being the 1985 10th round pick of the Kings, pick number 198, who was, that's another good one, nobody's going to get because I would have never known it, Maurizio Mansi. Maurizio Mansi, who never made it to the NHL but played in Europe for 16 years. Maurizio Mansi was the guy that they got for Steve Shutt. Now, why did the Habs trade Shutt? Well, it wasn't technically a trade. It was a loan. Shutt wanted a trade as he was no longer a regular player with the Habs. By that time, he had declined and his goal scoring prowess had declined. His numbers were down. He only played 10 games in his last season with the Habs. He had 2 goals in those 10 games. Shutt wanted a full-time position on the team, but the Habs couldn't offer him that. So they made a trade, but it was structured as a loan. They loaned him for the 1984-85 season to the Kings, and the Kings had the option of returning him before the 1985-86 season started if they didn't want him. I mean, Shutt didn't like the deal. He had no desire to return to the Habs, so he didn't have a great season, so he just said, nah, I'm done. So this whole scenario led Shutt to announce his retirement on May 21st, 1985, and the Kings exercised their option to return him to the Habs the next day. And basically, that's the story of Steve Shutt. That's when his career ended in hockey. And he went on to coach and do things like that. But that was how it ended. And I never knew a lot of this myself, his history. I never realized that's what happened. I mean, we're going back 30 years. I don't remember everything that happened. I'm sure a lot of people don't. But it's a really neat trip into Steve Shutt history. Check it out. Go to Wikipedia and you can look it all up. But it's really neat because he was such a mainstay of the Montreal Canadiens, and then he just kind of disappeared. And that's why. That's why. Now, Shutt only played the one season with the Kings, but he did have 16 goals and 35 assists. So he wasn't a bum. He was just getting long in the tooth. That's basically it. And he was done. So that's it. But he did make history. He was the first left winger in NHL history to score 60 goals in a season. He did it with the Habs. Won 5 Stanley Cups with the Habs through their glory years through the 70s and into the early 80s. So there you go. You probably didn't know, and I really didn't know. But I do remember great things about Steve Shutt. This guy was something else. When he was on the ice with Lafleur and that team, boy, they were unbeatable. And they literally were. They won 4 Stanley Cups in a row, and he was there for the one in the early 70s as well. He played with all the big boys, was one of the mainstays, right? Everybody knows. Okay, so the past week with the Habs, and this is where I'm going to get into what I think. We saw them beat the Predators at home, 4-3 win. Habs speed gave them the jump on the Sens. 2-0 lead after 1 with Caulfield getting his 10th. He got the first goal, Slav his 6th. He got the second goal. Just a beauty of a goal from Suzuki. But the Sens didn't lay down, evened it up in the second as Habs had a couple of goal posts, but couldn't put the third past Ullmark, who played a good game. Stutzel got one for the Sens in the third, and it looked like it could be the winner. Yeah, we were down 3-2, and it looked like we could lose this game, but we always have somebody who steps up, and this time it was our phenom, Ivan Demidov, took a pass in the slot and snapped the tying goal past Ullmark with 2 minutes left. I mean, what a beautiful goal. This kid, and we saw him do it again last night. This guy is unbelievable. He's unbelievable. He really is. Every time he's on the ice, you just have a feeling something's going to happen when he touches the puck. The game went into overtime, and Newhook. Some guy threw a pass across the middle. I can't remember who it was, but what a mistake. Newhook was there, and this guy speeds. He skates like the wind, this guy. He grabs the puck, goes in, and he hammers it home. Past Ullmark, posted in, unbelievable shot. What a beautiful goal in overtime. So we won that game. Kudos to one Arbor Jackeye. He had a great game. And when challenged by the Ottawa Goons, he just backed off, waved them off, not wanting to give them any motivation, Since the Habs had a 2-0 lead, why aggravate anybody? He just walked away, good discipline, and played a really good game as well, a solid game on defense. And that's the one thing that Jack Guy is going to learn. He's got to skate away, and he's been learning it. He's been learning it. Although last night he got into a big scuffle, but that had to happen. That was destined to happen in the game last night as a carryover from an exhibition game where he and his brother decided to get into it. So, what a great game! And these overtime wins, we just have so much talent that we can usually take advantage of other teams with the overtime win. Now, last night's game, it was a disaster from the drop of the puck. For some bizarre reason, which I don't know, I don't understand, MSL decided to play Montembeault. I don't know why. He had an 814 the game before, 814 save percentage. Why would you put him in again? I don't get it. You've got a guy sitting on the bench with a 1.97 goals against average and a 930 save percentage. Undefeated this year. This is our guy sitting on the bench. And after a crappy game by Montembeault, he decides that Montembeault is the guy to go with after his last terrible game. Why? Why? I don't get it. Why would he do that? It just boggles the mind to me. And here's the headline that screamed, Montembeault finding his form, steals a point for the Canadiens. Baloney. The guy put the Habs behind the 8 ball in the first 8 minutes of the game. 3 goals on 5 shots. And I know you can make excuses. Well, it was deflected and it was a power play and everything else. Sure. You can say that, but the bottom line is, at the end of the day, he's supposed to be our starter. He's supposed to be the guy that doesn't do this. 3 goals in the first 8 minutes, puts the Habs in a jackpot. And, the game's just not the same when you're playing to erase a 3-goal deficit. It's just not the same. Now, having said that, we're lucky we have a lot of talent. It's young talent, and it's inexperienced talent for the most part. But we do have that talent. So, was there an idea that we wouldn't score any goals or we're going to get shut out? No, never. Never. So what happens? Doc gets a goal. He gets 2 goals, actually. Suzuki got a goal. Demidov scored the 4th. So we come back in the second. We bang in 4 goals. Okay, great. We're winning 4-3. Monty's failure in the first was made up by the team in the second, and they gave him the lead again. Here you go, you plug. Here's your lead again after you screwed us for 3 goals. You made us fight back. We did it for you. Here, hold on to this lead and let's win this game in regulation time. No. 10 minutes left. Flyers pop in a goal. Now we're tied and we're going into overtime. And when we go into overtime, I'm sitting there praying. I'm praying to my cross. Please do not go into a shootout. Please do not go into a shootout. We need to win this in overtime, boys. No fooling around. There was no way I thought we were going to win the shootout. Montembeault is just not good enough. He's not. So what happens? You lose in the shootout. Losing the shootout. Goal between his legs, 5-hole. They've been shooting for the 5-hole all night on Montembeault. They always shoot for the 5-hole. The guy don't know how to stop it when it goes to the 5-hole. He does, it's lucky. What they do? Put the puck right through his legs, 5-hole, all the time. Stick down on the ground, legs not together. I think he was the streetwalker. Close those legs. So we lose in the shootout, and the headline would make sense, but that's not the way it went down. Oh, he made a few good saves. You know what? With 35 shots or whatever it was, 37 shots, yeah, he's going to make a few good saves. Or the game would be 30-0. He didn't save anything. Sure, he's going to make a few good saves. But those first three are killers. And then the other ones where you let them in at a bad time, they're killers. You can't let those goals in. That's where your goaltending comes in. You need the saves at the right time. You really, really do need the saves at the right time. And if you don't get them at the right time, and 10 minutes left in the game, why not make that save for us? Why not keep us in the game and help us to win the game in regulation time? No, that's not the way it works. And, I've never felt, and I've said this many times, that Montembeault's a starter. Okay, he went to that Fantastic Four, whatever it's called, Fabulous Four. He never played a minute of any game, but he came back better. He had a good finish to the season last year. And I think a lot of this has to do with the mentality of Martin St. Louis. I really, really do. People support that which they help to create. If he's naming Monty as number one goaltender, he's going to do everything in his power to give him the chance to be a number one goaltender, even though he isn't. I mean, at some point, you got to say, I've got to do what's right for the team. And even though Monty was going to be my guy, he's just not. He's got terrible numbers. He's got an .855 save percentage, a 3.67 goals against average, which means that Habs at minimum have to score 4 goals every game when he's in net, or else they're screwed. And they even did score 4 and 7 goals ago. They even did score 4 for him, and he still couldn't win. Now, you've got this guy sitting on the bench who's got a 1.97 goals against average, less than 2. He's got a .930 save percentage. This is starter. These are starter numbers. He's 6-0, hasn't lost a game this year. And the team plays different in front of him. They play a lot more positive game. They play a better game because they have faith that the guy back there is going to stop 1 or 2. So what does St. Louis do? He puts in Montembeault. Now, this is a psychological thing. I think he was hoping that Philadelphia's not that great of a team. Monty should be able to beat them. It'll give his confidence back. No. You're flogging a dead horse. Like, we want wins. We want to bank points because I'm telling you, we're coming up to the Fantastic 15, and it's not going to be easy. We have 9 back-to-backs in January, I think December and January, or something like that. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be brutal. So at the end of that day, we're going to have a tough time maybe. A lot of games, a lot of back-to-backs. And we don't have an easy schedule like we had for the first 20. Our first 20 games, that's why I said 13 to 15 wins, because the schedule isn't that hard. But it's going to get tougher with a lot of back-to-backs. We need wins banked now. Yeah, if we can win, if we can get to 15 wins, that's 30 points in an 80-game schedule. Out of 20 games, a quarter of the way through. That means that, we need 65 points for the rest of the season. which is about 35 wins out of the other 62 games, so just over 50% to make the playoffs. That's how it makes the season work. So we need these wins, Marty. You can't be monkeying around. You got to go with your best. What the hell's the matter with you? These guys, money this, money that. He played a hell of a. No, he didn't play a hell of a game. You're delusional. You thought he played a great game. He played so great. Why'd we lose? What do you have? A 905? That's his best of the year. A 905. A 905 with 3 goals against, or 5 goals, 4 goals, 5 goals against, whatever you want to call it. It's not a great game. It's not a great game. When you have 35 shots and you win, that's a great game. So I think Marty's got to bite the bullet, get over his psychological hang-up of having declared this guy and made him the starter. He don't want to be wrong, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he just don't want to be wrong. He's, don't give up on it. You don't give up on him. Yeah. We did that with Price. And Price screwed us for a lot of years. Oh, yeah, they love Carey Price, everybody. But he was a monkey on our back for a lot of years, that contract he signed, and he did nothing for us. I'm not impressed. And I don't want to see it happening now. Marty has to get over this. I mean, we could be right now like 11-1. I think the worst game we played was against Toronto. I think it was against Toronto Maple Leafs, the very first game of the season. That was the worst game we played. Every other one, the Rangers, we should have won. Edmonton, we got jobbed. And last night, there was no reason for Habs not to win that. If we weren't down 3-0 in the first 8 minutes, we probably would have. We got a better team. He scored 4 unanswered, and then he couldn't even hold the fort. I know, they're going to blame defense and everything else. Go ahead. Our defense, any defense, is not going to be perfect. They're going to make mistakes. There's going to be giveaways. There's going to be miscoverages. There's going to be all that. That's why we have a starting goaltender in net, so that he can cover for the mistakes. And if he can't, then he's not a starting goaltender. Is he going to win every game? No. Is he going to win the team every game? No, he's not going to. But he is going to win some games for the team when they have that off night. Marty said they had an off night. They're going to bag skate him. No, don't bag skate him. They got 4 goals. They gave Monty the lead back. They're not slouching. They're not taking the night off. How do you think it makes them feel when 5 shots, 3 goals go in, and they're down 3-0 in the first 8 minutes of a game? How do you think that makes them feel? It makes them feel down. Yeah, so forget about it. I'm not buying it. I don't care what they say. So anyway, we got 3 out of 4 points, which is good. We're still leading the Atlantic with 19 points. The power play is running at 30.8%, which is fantastic. I'd like to see them there. Their PK is running at 75.6%. I'd like to see that up to 80 or 85. When you add those two numbers, we're at 105, 106.1, which is fantastic. And I'd like to see that at 115. So give us a few more points on the penalty kill. Get us up to 80, 85, and we're where we want to be as a team. And if we can hold those numbers, yeah, we're doing good. And we know we have the talent up front to score goals. We can put the puck in the net. Not a problem. Now we have to have a guy who can stop the puck from going in the net. Here's where our problem. Marty's got to get over the psychological block he's got, trying to make a what do you call that? A silk purse out of a sow's ear. By diggity doggity. It's time to get off this Montable bandwagon. Put the best goalie in. And until Dobich proves that he's not the number 1 goalie, as his numbers say he is, then we ride him. We ride him. He's the better goalie. Okay, upcoming week. 3 games in the coming week. Tomorrow in New Jersey to face the Red Hot Devils. I think we can beat the Devils. I'm going to call that a win. They're red hot right now. They're playing great hockey, and so are we. Don't forget that. We're playing as good hockey as they are. Here's the difference. It's going to be goaltending. Is Marty going to wisen up and play Dobish and give us a shot to win this game? Or is he going to put Montembeault back in, trying to prove his point? That's the only question I have. If Dobish steps on the ice, I'd say we're going to win that game. It's going to be a close one. Maybe even a tie and go into overtime again. It's going to be a close one, but I think we can beat the Devils. But it depends on goaltending for me. I'm calling Dobish to play, but I can't predict what Marty's going to do because he doesn't make any sense to me. He really doesn't make any sense. Okay, on Saturday, we face the Mammoth, the Utah Mammoth. Where they came up with that name, I don't know. You know what my name was for them, and they should have went with it. The Utah Speedsters. Why? Bonneville Salt Flats in Utah. Well, they set land speed records. They're the Speedsters. The Mammoth. Where did they get them? When's the last time a Mammoth walked around Utah? Walked anywhere on the earth, as a matter of fact. The Mammoth. Oh, brother. We're going to beat the Mammoth. Yeah, we're putting the Mammoth down once and for all. They're done. And then we play the Kings. Kings got an up-and-coming team. They're not too bad. We play the Mammoth. Let's see where we play our games. The road games are going to be against the Devils. So we play the Flyers at home. We play the Devils on the road. And we play Utah and the Kings. The Mammoth and the Kings at home. So we had a home stand there, ending with the Flyers game. Then we go on the road for one game to the Devils. Not a big flight, not a heavy flight. We should be well rested to get in there and have a good game against them. And then we play Utah on Saturday, the Kings on Tuesday at home. So I think we're going to win all 3 games if Dobish plays. If Marty decides to experiment anymore and play games with the goaltending when it's obvious what he should be playing, then who knows? All bets are off at that point. I don't know what they're going to do. Because I don't know what Monty's going to do. I have no faith in him right now. You just knew at 4-3 he was going to let that goal in. You just knew it. The tying goal was coming. You just knew it. If Dobish was in, I'd say no. But you just knew the tying goal was coming from him. I think, there would have been 2 goals. They would have had 2 goals on Dobish. Yeah, everybody plays different. They're so worried about Montembeault letting in 3 goals. They didn't want to let in any more, so they were doing all kinds of crazy stuff with these power plays and everything. It's disheartening to see that. Better smarten up. Better smarten up. So I've got 3 wins notched for us, and it all depends what I say is on goaltending. We have the talent. Come on, we know we have the talent. There's no problem with the talent. These guys are skating like the wind. Teams can't keep up to the Canadians. They just can't keep up. They're swarming. They're like bees. Caulfield, Suzuki, Slavkovsky, Demidov, Doc, Matheson, Hudson. Like, it never ends. And they're all talented. They can all put the puck in the net, except Anderson and Veleno. I mean, those 2 guys, I don't know what the hell they're doing. Veleno hasn't been impressing me at all. And Anderson, he's just right back on his last year thing, skates around in circles, does a lot of nothing, and when he gets a chance to put the puck in the net, he never does. What's he got? 1 goal, maybe? Maybe? Does he have a goal? I don't even know. But this is normal. He's skating around in circles. I got to wonder, we have guys sitting in Laval that are pretty good. How long is it going to be before we start getting guys up on that 4th line that can actually get the scoring going? I mean, Doc had 2 last night, which I'm so happy for Doc because this guy's just getting his legs going again. He's getting back into the groove. We know he has talent. He's not injured. Yeah, who knows where this guy could go, but he got a pair last night, which is fantastic to see. We got Newhook firing it up. We got Newhook doing a great job out there. Who else scored last night? We got guys who can put the puck in the net. Not a problem. Not a problem. So, how about these Laval? We got to talk about Laval, the Laval report. Because Laval's really important to us to watch what's going on down there. Sitting third in the North Division, 2 points out of first, after 10 games with Dolphin leading the scoring with 12 points. Dauphine in 7 goals, 5 assists in 10 games. Way to go, Dauphine. Davidson is right behind him with 7 goals, or 7 points, 2 assists, or 7 goals, 2 assists for 9 points. 7 goals. Awesome. Fowler is sitting with a 2.34 goals against average and a .913 save percentage. 2 shutouts under his belt in 6 games, while Kakkonen is sitting with a 2.52 goals against average and a .917 save percentage in the 4 games that he's played. Nice tandem going on in Laval. I don't know, either one that could come up and back up Dobish, I think, and have better numbers than Montembeault. I have to think that. But, I don't want Fowler up. I want him to get as much ice time as possible down there, only because he needs it. He's going to be ready, not this year, not next year even, maybe. He needs some more time, but he's going to be a good one. We might see him up sooner than later. Now, on a side note, Michael Hage has played 10 games in the NCAA University of Michigan team and has 6 goals, 9 assists, 15 points in 10 games, and leads the team in scoring. This is so good to see because Michael Hage is going to be a force when he comes up. He's a center. He's going to be a force when he comes up. He's just got to get through his University of Michigan play. He'll be up soon enough. Don't worry. A year or two, he's going to be coming up, and he's going to be ready. But he's already setting a torrid pace for the University of Michigan, and that's fantastic to hear about Michael Hage and what he's doing. And we got guys down in Laval that are doing great. We have Reinbacher still to come back. He might be back for the next game for them. He's supposed to come back anytime. Gooley should be coming back, probably by the end of the month, I'm hoping. So I think we're going to be ready for the Fantastic 15. And we're going to be talking about the Fantastic 15 for sure. Okay, so we talked about the coming week. Let's go to the 3 stars. And we only had 2 games last week. So, the 2 stars, who am I going to name? Levkowski, Caulfield, Doc, Hudson, Matheson, Jack Guy had a heck of a 2 games. Suzuki, Slavkovsky, he's got a 12-game point streak. I think Suzuki, Caulfield's got a 7-game point streak going, something like that. Demidov, who continues to make his case for Rookie of the Year. Dandy power play goal last night. Just beautiful. Hudson. These are the guys that are household names now, and we talk about them every week as stars. So rather than naming 3 stars, because you can pick any of those guys and say they're 3 stars, nobody's going to give you an argument no matter who you choose. I think that what I'm going to do this week is really do some honorable mentions. You can swing all 6 of those, 7 of those guys and give them first, second, third stars. And I'll go, okay, I'm with you. I'm not going to argue. I'm with you. That's it. But I think that there's some people who should be mentioned that don't get the acknowledgement they should maybe. One of them is Struble. Now, Struble has been solid on defense. Yeah, he came in for goalie, but he is solid on defense. He's performing like he's been in the league for 20 years. He's so responsible. He's hard on the puck. He's solid, tough on the players, tough on the puck. Takes no nonsense from anyone. I love watching Struble play. I don't know why, But when Strubel's back there, I'm not worried about anybody taking advantage of our players, nor am I worried about the puck, where it's going and what's going to happen with it. He's just that good, that responsible, and he can lay a check out and really take care of people. So you just got to love it. I'm going to give him an honorable mention. Pleasure to watch and ply his trade on the blue line. He's sitting at a +2 right now. Hey, Jaden Strubel, my hat's off to you. You have been having a great season so far, filling in for Gooley when they called you up. Number 2, I'm going to talk about Jack-Eye. I know. He has lapses. He's -2. He has lapses on defense, right? You know, he's still learning to be a tough guy and to play solid defense, but he's been better lately. You can see him getting better every time. He seems to be getting better. The fact that he wouldn't throw down in a close game with McDermott means he's understanding that there's a time and place for fighting. There's a time and place to throw down and beat the crap out of somebody. And this is what's interesting because he could have just skated over and started up with the guy. He didn't. Habs had a 2-0 lead. He just waved him off and he went to the bench. Beautiful. Beautiful. He's making better decisions with the puck. He's making better decisions with everything. And I think everybody appreciates that and sees what's going on. So I'm going to give Jack-Eye an honorable mention. Our stars are the guys that I've talked about. Caulfield, Suzuki, Slafkovsky, Newhook, Demidov, Matheson, those guys. And third, and I want to talk about Newhook. He's my third honorable mention. Man, does this guy ever stop skating? He's all over the ice, always a threat. Throws one in to give us the overtime winner 2 games ago. And 5 goals, 4 assists. Did anybody think he'd have 5 goals and 4 assists, 9 points in his first 13 games? Probably not a lot of people. But he's having a heck of a start to the season. I think he'll reach new heights this year. He's a pleasure to watch. And with Kapanen and Demidov as a force when he's out on the ice, yeah, this whole line is fantastic. And they never stop. He's in his niche with a bunch of quick guys with skilled hands that can put the puck in the net. I love it, and I love that line. Good for him. And the last one I want to mention is Kirby Dach. I mean, we've waited 2 seasons for him. He's finally on the ice, and he's plying his trade. He basically hasn't played for 2 years, so he's just finding his way. Just starting to find his way. And starting to be the center we thought he could be. He's sitting at 3 goals and 2 assists, a 0 on the plus-minus. It looks good when he's on the ice. He's always out there. We're hearing his name. He's in the mix. He's in front of the net. He's doing things right. He's just getting into the swing of things, I think, because he did have 2 years off. We got to give him credit. He's just starting to get into the skating mode. And as we get deeper into the season, and the season gets tougher because it's going to. We're not going to have it this easy when we get into January, February, March, April. We got the 2-week break for those stupid Olympics, and that's going to – I don't know what that's going to do to the Habs, their momentum going in. The fabulous 15, their fantastic 15 is really going to tell us where they are. But he's getting his legs going, and he's going to become the center we always thought he could be. That's why we picked him up. So – cheers to Doc. Good for you. Kudos for you. I love watching you. We're going to see him get better and better. And he's going to become one of the mainstays on this team. We got 3 solid lines. We're doing really, really good. And we got to keep it going. But I do worry about giving up these goals, blowing leads. I do worry about blowing leads. Right now, we're getting away with it. We're fortunate sons. We're getting away with it, but we're not going to get away with it for the whole season. And we definitely won't get away with it in the playoffs when there's no gimmick overtime to bash in goals because we have a lot of talent on the ice when it's 3-on-3. We got to be very, very careful about what's going on. Marty's got to recognize this and tighten these guys up when they got the lead start. saying, hey, listen, we don't need any more goals, guys. You got to tighten this up. We got to lock this down. That's what good teams do. We don't want to go into a game tied. We want to win in regulation time. That's locking the game down. And okay, it comes with experience, maybe. So, we still are inexperienced. We're still learning a lot of these guys. They're still learning to do it. It'll happen. But Marty's got to be the guy who really, really puts that to them. We don't have to score goals. We can score goals. That's not the problem. The problem is when we have that lead, to protect it, be a little bit better defensively, and when we have a 1-goal lead, to have the killer instinct to go out there and score that 3rd and 4th goal. We have to have the killer instinct. And that's where we're seeing teams floating around when Habs have a 1-goal lead, and then them finding a way to put the puck in the net. We saw it last night. You monkey around and let these guys skate around, and eventually, even just by luck, one's going to go in. Especially when Monty's in. You got to tighten up. You got to tighten her up. Tighten her up. So that's what I think Marty's got to do. I'm predicting 3 wins here. If we can keep Montembeault to the net, I'm predicting 3 wins. If I wanted to see them play one team, if they're going to put Monty in, I would say probably the Kings. I think the Mammoth are having a pretty good start. Maybe the Kings, you throw them in there. No back-to-backs. I play them all 3 Dobish. Let him go out there. Let him show what he can do. Let him prove he's number 1. Anyway, that's it for me. Big week coming up. 3 wins. Puts us at 12, 3, and 1. And we're going to be in fine shape after the first 20. That's what I'm predicting. We'll see how close I am. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Habsolutely coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for commenting on the video. Thank you so much for listening live on 4680q.com at noon. And don't forget, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification button. When I drop a video, this video should be on by 3 o'clock today, if we're lucky. Don't forget to subscribe so you can get a notification and watch the show. Please comment. Thumbs up, thumbs down. It helps the algorithm. It helps us get the show to more people. Share the show. Tell them about the maniacs that run this show from Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. And everybody's going to be happy. God bless you all. Have a great week. We'll see you at noon on Wednesday with Habsolutely. Promises made, promises kept. 3 wins this week. Go, Habs, go.